Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Paps, a rising VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be trying to make a character design based off of this thing, the Ouroboros. Now, from what from a quick, a very lightning fast read through of the Wikipedia page of this thing, it's supposed to be a kind of a cult symbol that's very popular in like particularly alchemy and stuff like that. I even saw a picture that related it to like the chemical structure of benzene, for example, right? Like you remember seeing it was like this thing, and somebody was like, "Oh, hey, that also looks like a snake eating its own tail." Apparently, it doesn't have to be a snake. It can also be a dragon. Like this thing is like the Wikipedia page picture for it, and this thing very clearly has four legs. So yeah, it's kind of fast and loose, right? Sometimes there's two snakes, sometimes it's just one snake, sometimes it's a dragon instead, sometimes it's whatever this thing is. I don't know. I thought at first that this was a fox, right? Like because of the little flaps up here. I don't think that's the case. It's got scales on it and stuff. I think it might just be like one of those like medieval beasts. It's just very mysterious. In any case, we'll be making a design based off of this, so please look forward to it. Yeah, I kind of felt bad missing out on making like a dragon girl because it's the year of the dragon. So I think I might actually go more. I'm definitely I'm gonna make this one a girl, and I think I'm going to make it so that it's dragon inspired more than snake like. Let's see. So it's gonna get a little bit self indulgent here, right? That's not bad every once in a while either. We could just get like a random figure in here. I don't know what is good at communicating like a loop, right? Because everything about the Ouroboros is about like a loop. Oh, rice beast. Okay, got it. Let me add another one on here. I accidentally left one in here from last time, so that one. This is just gonna be like a bonus one. Yeah. I remember one time I made like this serpent-looking girl. I might actually base it off of her. She's different from Neburo. I've drawn Neburo on here like one time, I believe, but I have an idea for this one. Hang on. It's a little late to get my sketchbook back here so I can take a peek at it. So I guess I'm gonna have to freehand this, sort of. I'm gonna make her very tall. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like because it's snake-like, I think it also works to be repurposed as kind of more draconic. It's all just kind of like lizard in the end, right? That being said, do we have like a way to make somebody hunch? Is there like somebody with bad posture in my materials? I might need to find a pose reference in the asset store real quick here. That might work really well, actually. Because the whole thing of the Ouroboros is like eating its own tail. I know that like animals don't normally eat themselves unless they're under a large amount of stress, and some snakes have been observed to do that in real life, right? Like eating their own tails. Hang on. I want y'all to take a look at the result I got when I was looking in the asset store for hunched over postures. I got this one that says arcade gaming. Me when I'm definitely winning at Street Fighter. God, did you know that I played the story mode of Street Fighter 6 and I never touched it again? Not even one time. I have like not even seen the what the online ranked matches look like. I'm just completely ignorant of all of that. I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to find one here. Anyway, I remember I was talking about like circumstances where animals eat themselves, right? In order to kind of like maybe justify the idea of this. And I know that it often happens when they're stressed. So what if I just made like this a very stressed out looking girl? I mean, this year has been off to a rough start. Let's be real. It hasn't been the smoothest year to year baton pass of recent memory. I don't know. Maybe it has been smooth for some people. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have had it rough just like as the beginning of the year. So hopefully we'll be able to turn it around, right? Hang on. Yeah, there we go. We'll also have to adjust the hips a little bit. Not like that. There we go. I just kind of want to make a very lanky woman. I feel like that would be a lot of fun. Do I have any? Hang on. I'm just gonna lengthen her arms a little bit. I know there is like a Japanese monster called like the 8 foot tall woman or something. That's supposed to be very famous. I kind of want to have her like clenching her, like rubbing her hands together a little bit. Okay. Yeah, like T-Rex hands a little bit. I don't know. The paws of this thing are kind of cute, right? Like this thing is kind of adorable. So I don't know. Maybe it'd be an interesting contrast if we just like gave her very petite hands. Or maybe we should give her like very long hands as well. Yeah, tiny little baby hands are a little disturbing on this. Yeah, long spindly hands are much cooler, I think. Okay, and then move this one over here. Okay. What are we gonna do with that thumb though? Well, we'll figure it out, or we won't. Okay, and then I think this is a decent pose to start out with, but I kind of want to do something with the legs, maybe. May have like the foot stance be a little bit wider out. Hmm. The problem is that controlling the joints like that is going to be a little bit tricky. But I've got an idea for how to do it. Hold on, let me select this other joint. Hmm. What else can we do? Maybe make her head a little bit longer? I don't know. I don't know what to do with the head. There we go. Just a little bit like that, I think. I kind of feel like decreasing the bust size too, just in case. Oh God! Wait, can we make the torso longer too? That's kind of neat. I like that. I kind of like it having it short though. Okay. Having her be too skinny isn't any good, but I would like a very androgynous appearance, I think. Okay, then after that, Hmm. All right, bring this back and actually put it a little bit closer. All right, so for this one, let's use a blue color instead of the kind of pinkish that we were using earlier. Like I said, I'm kind of enamored with the paws on this thing. This one doesn't really have it, but it's kind of interesting how like the weird scales almost make it look like a furred creature, right? Even though it's supposed to be reptilian. Speaking of reptilian, okay, so I think maybe one of the things we can do to, hmm, I mean, first things first. The whole idea is that she's like the Ouroboros. So I think the best thing to do is to give her a big long tail and just kind of have it on her mouth. I think that might be easier said than done, though. This is going to be a really long tail if I wanted coiling around like that. Okay. Come to think of it, how sanitary is that? I don't know if a tail, biting your fingers, your nails, for example, isn't very good for you. It's not good for your teeth, and it's not good for, well, obviously your nails, but it's also not good for you because it lets all kind of like germs in your mouth, right? So I was wondering if maybe biting your tail is actually more hygienic because unlike your hands, unless your tail is like super prehensile, which I guess this one is, come to think of it, unless your tail is super prehensile, you're not going to be like grabbing stuff with it. So it's going to be cleaner than your hands in all likelihood. Well, I guess that also depends on just your surroundings and environment, right? Like, for example, if you don't have any specialized seats to accommodate for a tail, you wouldn't be able to, you would have to kind of sit on the tail or sit sideways on it. I mean, that would get some gross stuff on it. Listen, I don't like the hygiene state of like the public transportation, but I would hate it even more if I had to like watch out for feathers or scales or something sensitive like that. Yeah. This afternoon, actually, when I was coming back from work, I saw the oddest thing, right? So the buses near where I live are structured in a way where some of the seats, right? Normally, bus seats are kind of like on the side of the bus or in two by two rows. In the back of the bus, there's actually these seats that are kind of facing toward each other, so that four seats are all kind of in a group together. And on one, I felt like I was in that Yu-Gi-Oh card that's actually just show only, where it's like you have two paths in front of you, one that is evil and one that is good. The one on the left here, right, the leftmost one from this perspective had a bunch of bus pass like transit stubs, right? Like if you give the bus driver a bus ticket or like a temporary pass or something, you can ask them to give you like a transit pass, and that's good for like 3 hours before you have to replace it. I don't know. Sometimes I've heard that they don't check it sometimes, but I'm not. I don't usually mess around to find out. I don't. I'm not usually long enough for them to expire. But yeah, they're there. And on this other hand, there were like a bunch of Rice Krispie treat wrappers, and I just sat next to the one with all the tickets. Thankfully, the seat next to it was clear. I don't remember looking at the seats too much after that, but I don't know. It felt like a snap decision I had to make because you're finding a seat on the bus. The bus is starting to move. You don't want to fall ass over tea kettle onto the floor of the bus, which is inarguably worse than both of the options that I've just outlined. So you just kind of learn to deal, right? Let's give her glasses. It is supposed to be. I mean, it is supposed to be the year of the Earth Dragon, right? Hmm. Like I said, I'm really a big fan of the like boot of like the little paws here. I kind of want to give her like almost, those things that like very high class people wear that are like gloves that go up to like your elbow or something. Those kind of opera gloves or something. I'm not sure what they're actually called, what the scientific name is, but I kind of want to give her something like that. Maybe they can splay out a little bit too. Yeah. Hmm. What is this thing on the bottom of its mouth? Again, because this looks so fox-like, I keep mistaking it for fur. But again, that can't be what it is. I kind of like the idea of giving her like a pointy nose like that, or like one of those longer noses. I think that's a very nice expression, actually. That does communicate like a degree of concern. Maybe we can have like the fangs right here. Hmm. They have. I want to have similar spines to like what's on here. Why does this one look so sad? By the way, I don't know what it is. This one just looks. I think it's the eyes, right? Like this thing looks like it's. It looks like a little tear with a blue. Oh my god. This thing is so sad. Hmm. I kind of like the idea of like having one of those like triangular windows here, right? And maybe we can have maybe to replace the thingy here. We can have it kind of like go up to her neck like this. That's some kind of like weird spiny thing where the zipper goes. I mentioned wanting to do something similar with the boots. I feel like I'm accidentally designing one of those like Getter Robo villainesses. Not Getter Robo, fucking the dudes who travel through time. I forgot what their name is, but I feel like I'm designing a villainess for one of their shows. Except she's just really sad and pathetic. I need to give her some confidence. I need to give her like something that looks badass as well to balance that out. Okay, we can have maybe some slight platform heels. Let's see. Okay. I feel like there needs to be a stronger theme of like loops. Hmm. Maybe some kind of infinity scarf? I think that might work, actually. Hang on. What does the infinity scarf look like again? I need help remembering. Right. It looks like this. Hang on. I need to find another. I need to find another, an actual reference picture because this is actually confusing my eyes a little bit. Wait, is this thing just a Mobius strip and not actually like an infinity symbol? I think that might be the case. Hang on, check this out. Right, that's definitely more kind of Mobius strip than infinity symbol, I feel. In any case, it's not really going to work out for what I want. Hmm. Maybe we can do something with her hair too, to kind of emphasize the loop. I don't know. I feel like having a clear middle part like that kind of goes against the kind of wild back of the hair that I've been going for. Hmm. Not to mention, I don't know what rightfully to do with the rest of the bodysuit. I'm interested in the concept so far, but I feel like it's lacking something. Hmm. Let me darken the lights that we've got so far. Or maybe lighten them. Maybe that'll work a little bit as well. Yeah, yeah, lightening them helped a little bit. Hmm. Actually, what might work instead of having this be like locks of hair, maybe they can be kind of horns, like proper horns instead of just scruffy hair. Hmm. Man, I am not looking forward to having to put in some overtime to make these boots look like vinyl-y. Well, I dug this bed, so I might as well line it. For the rest of the costume, though, I don't know what to do. Hmm. Maybe a belt somewhere? Maybe we can have the scarf tied at the back like this. I feel like that might help a little bit. Yeah. Having it tied like that makes it look a little bit more hot-blooded. And also, maybe instead of having her just look like worried, we can have her seem like more pensive. I don't know. The rest of her body language completely doesn't communicate that, though. Hmm. Maybe putting the part where the sleeves part a little bit higher helped, but I'm not sure what else to do with this. What kind of accessories can we give to a bodysuit to make it more diverse? My first instinct is frills, but I don't think that that's going to help much. Although maybe we can attach some to the arms. Make these into like cowboy boots. It fits, but it doesn't fit. Maybe something different over the shoulders? Maybe like some kind of feather boa or something? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think a feather boa is the solution here. I don't know. When is a feather boa the solution? It's actually hard to justify to myself now that I've said it. Hmm. Maybe it'd be more interesting to do something on her hands. I remember there were characters in Full Metal Alchemist who had like the Ouroboros or kind of like an Ouroboros like symbol on their hands or somewhere on their body. I don't remember where. Should I give her wings? I mean, this thing doesn't have wings. I kind of want to make the tail split at the end, though. I do want to do that. Hmm. Maybe a stripe down the middle would be good. I think that might save it. Yeah. She kind of looks like a superhero, doesn't she? Instead of a villainess. That's also something good though. Maybe in that case, instead of having her be like have just her normal eyes, maybe it can be something like a domino mask. Hmm. I don't know. I'm hesitant to increase the complexity of the costume, though. I feel like it's got enough points to be interesting as it is a little bit, but hmm, maybe more stripes. I think that might be a good idea. Oh, isn't there like maybe like a kind of almost like gesture pattern? That might actually be interesting because then it's almost like a set of scales, isn't it? And I feel like it would add like a certain degree of bathos to have this poor girl be dressed like a jester. That would also be a good way to incorporate the horns. Have the mask have it be like a jester mask. Do I have like a jester's mask in my references? I don't think I do. Let me look it up. Or is it a Harlequin mask? I think it might be a Harlequin mask. There we go. Check this thing out. It really emphasizes painted lips. I like the ones that have like tears on them like this though. Let me close out these references to begin with. We don't need the infinity scarf anymore. Look at how fucking devious this guy looks. Holy shit. You know bro is about to do some Auntie Pagliacci shit. Bro is about to be on that Kafka grind set. But yeah, this thing. Oops. I don't know. She looks too sad though. If I had the teardrop. Hmm. Okay, curve this around. Actually, the spirals in the mask's motif might actually be useful to incorporate the water theme. It's not water, it's earth. Why do I? It's not even earth, it's wood. Why do I keep forgetting? God damn. Oh fuck! That I hate that guy actually put me off a little bit when I opened him on accident. I need to be so careful with whatever references I have open because I always end up jump scaring myself. It's getting old. It's becoming predictable. Like now, whenever I switch canvases and try to look for one of my references, you can almost like have a countdown to when I get scared. Oh well, it's funny, so who cares? I can't really be mad about it if that's the case. But yeah, I like this. I'm kind of digging this design so far. Although I do kind of want to do something with those hands up there. I'll move these down here. But yeah, I'll work on that hand once I get to that point. But for the time being, let's focus on making the pencils for the character. Still, Ouroboros Harlequin is definitely not what I had in mind when I first started drafting this idea, but honestly, it kind of bangs. I'll also be able to incorporate little spirals here and there in the different sections of the costume this way. Okay, and then hmm. I really like doing like super wrinkly clothes. You know, there's something very satisfying about the process of it. It's also really fun to do characters with like super long, exaggerated anatomy. Partly because it's different from what I always do, right? Or, at least a little bit. It's refreshingly different. But also because it just lets you really. Exaggerating something lets you study it more closely, right? That's why you have things like microscopes and magnifying glasses. So I think it kind of makes you think about just how parts of the body work, and it just kind of makes you feel like you're gaining some information. You know, I'm always satisfied like making like good looking characters, right? But it's always when I get to like really exaggerate anatomy, deviate from that kind of like perfect ideal, right? That I feel like I'm having the most fun drawing. Let's see, there we go. I imagine it also has some benefits for just knowing, right? If you keep doing it enough, you'll eventually understand something, right? Although I don't know what that might be. Like I said, exaggeration can give you a deeper understanding of something, but that doesn't mean it'll happen automatically. Well, if you don't try it, you'll never know. So I guess there's also that. Okay. We need to increase the. I want to say bone density of this arm. The meat density. I hesitate to use the word girth, but yeah. Let's see. Okay. Swoop in like this, and then circle back around. What if I just gave her those like really cool S's that everybody used to draw in their sketchbooks as part of a motif? Hang on. What was it like? I think you were supposed to like do it like this, and then it goes like this. Something like that. Yeah, close enough. Okay. Then over here. There we go. Okay. Then the rest of the body is going to follow. Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hey, I'm Paps, already seen VTuber and an artist. Cypress, how are you? Hang on. Slash shout out. Thank you for your hard work. I hope you had a great stream. If you need to head out, for sure, keep on trucking. But if you want to stick around for a minute, feel free to do so. I'm drawing an Ouroboros based. She turned out to be kind of superhero looking, so I guess that's what we're going with. Finish a chapter of Paper Mario. Nice. Which one did you finish? I think you recently finished the Glitz Pit, right? Does that mean you finished chapter 4? I remember you talking about like Daisy defeating an underground crime boss that runs a fighting arena. I'm like, oh, so she got to chapter 3. Yeah, with Dupless. Dupless is such a funny motherfucker. I hated Dupless so much because my brother and I my brother and I played Paper Mario when we were kids, right? And we neither of us spoke English, and the game was in English. So we had a hard time understanding like the whole kind of like gimmick of chapter 4. But we got there eventually. Yeah. I remember it was I think my brother actually beat the game. You know, I just kind of like watched him play the game and he beat it. I remember chapter 2 was also a really big problem, but I feel like chapter 2 is a big problem for anybody who has like I don't know. I feel like unless you have like a special brain wired specifically for like random bullshit, I feel like chapter 2 is difficult for everyone. I don't know. Chapter 2 is like my least favorite of the chapters by far. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying Paper Mario. I love the Thousand Year Door, if it wasn't obvious. I never got to play the original Paper Mario or anything past Super Paper Mario, but I do remember Chapter 2 has some problems because it's a bit confusing with the layout and its puzzles. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I also never really liked the kind of like RTS moments where you had to like fight the fucking mosquitoes or whatever the fuck those guys were. The boss fight was also kind of tough, I remember. But that might have just been because me and my brother were under leveled. God. I love the fact that like you get to play like a RTS game with the puties and the fucking mosquito guys because I imagine that's just like what day-to-day life is for like bugs, right? Like that's like the reality of your typical garden ant. Bugs, constant warfare, 10,000 lifetimes. Those little bastards are never escaping the cycle of samsara for sure. I don't know. I feel like if you told a bug about the cycle of samsara, it wouldn't really give a shit. Like I think if you told a bug about like an eternal cycle of death, rebirth, and punishment, it wouldn't really care. I feel like it would be unimpressed. Let's see. Okay. How do I? Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, then just put this part here, this part there. I've always been fascinated by people who love collecting bugs as a hobby, or rather, people who can actually like take care of bugs. I don't know. I feel like for mammals, it's easy. It's more intuitive because you're like, okay, what do I need? Okay, I need food, shelter, and a place to poop. And if you provide that for a mammal, then they're golden. Oh yeah, the people who raise beetles just to make them fight. I don't, didn't one of the little Hololive girls raise beetles? I think like Nene did, right? Like that was like her deal. She liked doing that. I reckon there must be. I reckon it must be kind of like a Pokemon kind of situation where some people do raise them to fight, but others just to like raise them for the sake of raising them, right? Like, I can't imagine every beetle owner just has a terrible bloodlust for its creature, right? Or wants to drive their pet to violence. I remember the one that always puzzled me that I heard about was like fighting fish, right? Like people do to like buy fish and have them fight. Of all the different kind of like animal blood sports that I've heard of, I've always never figured out like the fish one. Yeah, no. Apparently, if you put like two betta fish or some kind of fish in in like an environment, they beat the fuck out of each other. Like there are fish fights that are popular in, I forget which country specifically, but I remember them being like a thing. Well, this is not like a hashtag Pabs fact moment. I distinctly remember seeing like a documentary on like fighting on like fish fighting, or not, maybe not even a documentary, maybe like a mini like a sidebar of a documentary related to fish fighting. Let me Google this real quick. Fish fighting Wikipedia. If this leads me to octopus wrestling again, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh yeah, no. Okay, Siamese fighting fish. This is the bloodthirsty little bastard. Guy who races a mini shark for the underground fish fighting tournament. That would be funny as fuck. But yeah, apparently betta fish are endemic to the central plain of Thailand. They were initially bred for aggression and subject to gambling matches akin to cockfighting. Holy shit. Bettas are known for being highly territorial, with males prone to attacking each other if housed in the same tank. Okay. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, these are the fish that they said that bettas are incredibly territorial and you cannot put two of them in a tank. I see, I see. But yeah, apparently this is a bloodthirsty little guy. Yeah, he looks like a fighter. You see a fish like that approaching you on the street, and you cross the street to the other side. Okay, big old scarf thing here. Whenever I give characters a big old scarf, I'm like, thank you, Mr. Takeshi Hongo. Thank you, Mr. Ishinomori. I don't know. I just think it's really cool that like being given a big flowy scarf as a symbol of like being a superhero is just really cool now. Like my guy Takeshi Hongo did that. My guy, like it became just so eponymous with like heroics, and now it's just like, yeah, no, if he wears a scarf, that's a hero. I don't know. It's there's something really wonderful about that, right? Like the fact that it's just kind of like become an icon. I kind of like the idea of like having her hair kind of like all spill into the inside of the scarf here. Okay, and the second layer of the scarf can go here. And then the rest, okay, the rest of her chin can go here. I don't know, is that too round for the chin? I feel like we can make it a little bit sharper. There we go, like that much. Okay, got this part. And we can have the hips kind of go out from here. Okay. The bottom of the jumpsuit is going to be around here. Okay, and then the rest of this is just the boots. We can thicken the part of the spiral design right here. Let's see. Oh yeah. The other day I ended up binge reading most of the Apothecary Diaries' backlog in like one sitting. I really like I've been reading the Apothecary Diaries and it's just real good. It's itching my brain in a very specific way because the whole thing of the book is just like different kind of mysteries in this kind of like imperial palace setting. And it's very interesting because I love low tech mystery. I love it when like characters don't have access to like DNA testing or fingerprinting or stuff like that because it just feels a little bit more clever, right? Like I don't know how you would write a feature like a sci-fi mystery set in the future. I remember one time I was reading bits and pieces of that Kurosawa work, Pluto, and in one of the scenes they had the guys investigating a crime scene by literally 3D VR projecting it in a big room. And fucking Astro Boy just got in there and was like, "Oh hey, I noticed this tiny little insignificant thing right underneath some of the rubble. Seems pertinent." I'm like, "Ooh, this is interesting," but also it feels like it would be a very boring way to solve crime. I've been seeing that around since it has an airing anime. I did not know it was a mystery. I just thought it was about a weird noble having an interest in a girl who hates him. I mean, that is also a part of the plot point. But the awesome thing about it is like the girl in question is like this maniac who loves poisoning herself. like she's really interested in pharmacology and stuff like that. So literally her defining character portrayed is super interested in pharmaceutical stuff and loves poisoning herself. Yeah, she literally has an arm that she has to cover up with bandages because she keeps like letting snakes bite it and shit just to see what happens if she ingests the venom. And, like she's just like convulsing on the ground and she's like, "Oh, this is fascinating." Like literally one time that noble that likes her managed to recruit her into solving a mystery by promising her like a fucking he essentially bribed her with like rare medical ingredients. He was like, "You want this cordyceps? Solve this puzzle for me." It's genuinely interesting. Like I'm not super into like the whole like oh she hates him but he's in love with her kind of thing, right? But she's like really it's like I really like the manga at least. I don't know. I've been having a blast with it. It's also interesting to me because I love like like courtly intrigue shit. I love it when like nobles have to harass each other in super petty ways because if they start a fight, then it's going to lead to fucking war. But yeah, it's been itching my brain real good. So I am weirdly enough, I'm not super interested in the anime, but I really hope more chapters release soon. I get the impression it's probably a monthly series. It was originally a web novel, from what I understand. So maybe I can tap into that. Some of the translated chapters. Let's see. Okay, if I draw this part, I think after that it's just the rest of the. I don't know. I could probably let her be short haired, but I kind of want to give her longer hair as well. I can figure that out soon, though. Let me finish this boot. But yeah, I've quickly realized that I love characters who are just completely insane about a specific thing. I think like that's a modern recipe to success is to just have a character be absolutely insane about a specific subject. You know, recently we have the fucking Dungeon Meshi white boy of the year who is obsessed with eating monsters. That's his thing. You know, we have Freyrin, who I think is like interested in magic stuff. I haven't read enough about Freyrin at the funeral to know like what her deal is, but she doesn't seem like a normal person. Yeah, white boy who is just real hungry, and he's gonna make it everybody's problem. God, I have got to finish reading Dungeon Meshi at some point. I have to. I owe it to myself to do that because I remember tapping into it a while back and not being able to finish it. But now I understand that it is a completed series. I remember somebody putting up a post that saying like Laios could solo the dungeons of fear and hunger, and I'm like, yeah, actually, you're right though. Freyrin feels she lives on an elf's timescale and thinks like 100 years a short amount of time, and dealing with the fact that the person she loved is dead now. Damn. We were having. I thought she was like a funny girl who loved like a funny woman, pardon me, who liked like magic books, and I and that's actually fucking heavy, but that's good too, though. That's such an interesting character exploration. Now imagine one of those posts that's like, "Come here, I am a normal show about an elf who loves magic," and in the background it says, "I am going to fundamentally change your approach to grief forever." She's also a fail woman who happens to be very good at magic. God. Weirdly specific character niche. Court wizard who kind of sucks at their job is kind of peak character. Like this is completely unrelated to Freyred. I like the idea of like a guy who's like a court magician who is just getting by their skin of their teeth. All right, then we're gonna change it up here. Hmm. I remember the other day that there was this poll going around, being like, well, which would you rather have, like a stave or like a tome? Right? My lord, of course I can cast a spell that gives you immortality. Just give me 10,000 more gold and I'll be right on it. And also turn around. Okay, now put on this blindfold. Yep, okay. Now count to 100 and you will be immortal. For sure, 100%. Don't. I'm getting farther away now. My voice is getting very small, but that's normal. That just means that the immortality is working. Bye, my lord, bye. Something like that. I feel like that's no longer a court wizard. That's just like a normal scammer. Which is also funny. I feel like that could also be really funny. Just a dude who goes around scamming royalty. Guy whose number one product move is being like, you should drink this mercury now. God. You really could just use to feed people any old shit and call it medicine, huh? Crazy how that works. Nowadays, you need a bunch of stuff like a degree and FDA approval. Yeah, it killed the last three guys, but you're built different. I believe in you. You can definitely, you can definitely, bro. Trust. You can definitely. I know that you are built different, my lord. I know that you can survive the deadly poisons of the mercury. You're going to emerge so beautiful and crystalline, and also I will need payment up front for this. By the way, no particular reason why. Imagine if you're in like a cyberpunk universe where like magic is real and shit, and your local team wizard only takes payment in like Western Union prepaid cards. There used to be class in anonymous ransom payment. Now everybody just asks for like Bitcoin or something. We used to be a country. Okay. I think the next part would be like the eye holes. Okay, and then a little teardrop here. That's become like a favorite saying of mine, even though I'm not American at all. I'm not really Canadian either, for that matter. but just saying we used to be a country really. I don't know what makes me laugh about it so hard. Just saying it about the most inane shit ever. Like I'll see that they're out of blue Gatorade at a store and immediately hit them with the "we used to be a country." I don't know. I feel like that's definitely like a sometimes joke to pull out though, because I feel like if that's like the bit that you're known for, it's gonna raise some red flags. Hmm. Right? Like, could you imagine if you go to if a friend of yours is talking about this new streamer that they've heard about, and they're like, "Bro, you have got to check this guy out. His fucking his what's like a mediocre messed up thing? His sideways cat bar eating bit is totally awesome." And that doesn't have enough bite to it to kind of be comparable, but you know what I mean. Okay, it's gonna go out like this. Then over here. This last part here, and then we just need to insert the diamonds, and we should be good to start coloring. Gonna go figure out dinner. You have a good night. No problem. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for the raid as well. Okay, for the first summon, I'm going to kind of warp it around like this. There's something very satisfying, although it's obviously time-consuming, right? But there's something very satisfying about making the patterns by hand. You know, you can let them be affected way more fluidly than if you're just using a pre-built pattern. I did forget her right hand. I do think I forgot her right hand in my innocence. So let me go fix that up real quick. Okay, then over here. We can replace this line like that, and then add the thumb over here. Okay. Right, the diamonds on the clothes. Okay, that's going to move up over here. Oh. Everybody duck your heads for like 30 seconds. I'm about to run an ad. In the meantime, let me figure out the rest of these diamonds as well. Okay. I also need to make sure that they're kind of evenly spaced as well, right? I can't just kind of put them willy-nilly, as I was about to do. That would have been silly. Okay, and this one's going to go in like this. Okay. Shoot, did I forget to turn on the time lapse? I think I did. Oh well. No use crying over spilled milk. I think I made this one too short. You know what always cracked me up? Y'all have y'all heard of the historical figure, the pseudo mythical historical figure Charlemagne? I did some research into him while I was looking up some mythology stuff, and I found out that apparently Charlemagne's dad was just known as Pepin the Short. Like, that's kind of hurt, right? Like, obviously, it's never nice to be referred to only by your physical attributes, right? Your physical appearance, having that define your entire personality. But I feel like if you're a ruler and and the best thing anybody can hit you with is the short, I feel like that's almost kind of on you, right? Like if you're the ruler, if you're like the king, dictator, what have you of a country, and like the best thing the peasants can come up with is like the short. Like they don't even call you the terrible or the mighty or the invincible or the great. They just like, yeah, he's all right. It's kind of short. He's kind of short though. Like that's the like that's the only thing that occurs to them when they think of you. I feel like that's on you. I feel like you could have like maybe done a few more public work projects or something. Right? Like I feel like if the most memorable thing about you is that you're short and you're running an entire country, I feel like that's kind of on you. Okay, and then add this part here. Okay. I think we are good on the line art. Let's start coloring. Maybe doing some flats. I kind of want to try doing something similar to this one here. I also need to remember to do like actual scales. Let me see if the asset store has like a scale pattern that I can borrow real quick. Yeah, that thing I was saying earlier about like it being satisfying to do the pattern by hand only applies to simple patterns. As the patterns become more complex, it becomes a little bit more difficult to appreciate it, I think. Hmm. Now there's like snake scale brushes too. Interesting. That might actually be a better choice. Huh. Let me think about this. Sharp scales. Okay, actually, this looks tight. Let me start downloading that in the background. In the meantime, let's choose some basic colors. I kind of want to go for like the red and green of this picture here. So let's try that first. Hmm. Not bad, but maybe we should make her a redhead. Redhead. I feel like that's a good decision. Yeah, this looks nice. Oh, I see I missed a spot here. I also see that hang on, let me add a little bit of cheek fat right here. Uh, well, let's go with it for now. Let me also fill out the little parts here, which are missing some color. Let me actually use the fill up the vector path function this time around. I think the line art is thick enough that it can handle that. We might hit this with a color gradient before we're done, just to differentiate the colors a little bit more, maybe up the contrast a little bit. But so far, I'm liking what we are cooking. Okay. Actually, we'd have a couple of lines right here for the pattern. Okay, then after that, you could have maybe like a yellowish green. The part here, I don't know. I kind of like the contrast between the green and the yellow. I mean, the green and the red. Well, contrast isn't really the right word. They're supposed to cancel each other out, color-wise, I believe. Correct? I think I remember how a color wheel works. 50, what's the over/under on me forgetting how a color wheel works? I don't know about yellow. Maybe like a darker green? Or maybe we can use that for the outer and then have the inside part be the kind of light green. Hang on. No, I like the light green for the outside. We'll have to figure out the inside green as we go along. Or whatever color ends up being on the inside there. Oops. Let's make it closer to true white. We can give it a blue tint just to make it look whiter compared to the rest of this. I do think we're going to have to introduce some manner of yellow, but maybe we can make it like a more down-to-earth kind of ochre yellow rather than like an intense yellow. Hmm. Let's just keep experimenting and see how it goes. Let's make the boots this kind of red too, then. See, when it's like that, I'm not so sure about it, is the thing. And select color gamut. Actually, let me make these guys a different color just so we can do. Ooh, actually, hang on. The darker kind of brownish red. Actually, no, I guess it's just straight up brown, isn't it? Kind of works. I don't know. We can keep experimenting if it doesn't work out, but still. I like the contrast that it provides with the rest of it. We're gonna need to make the boots the same color regardless. So let's experiment it with that in mind. All right, select color gamut. Definitely nothing on the kind of like cooler side of the spectrum. Yeah, I think the kind of like darker brown, maybe with a little bit of desaturation to it. Or actually, I think it's fine as it is. Hmm. Let's see. I'm not sure what color to use for the inside of the diamonds as well. Maybe we can make it like a brighter red. Well, who knows? It might not be a bad idea to make the inner middle color something different as well. Maybe like an even brighter red. Somehow that doesn't feel right. Maybe like a whitish color? Nope. Pink also doesn't seem quite right. Maybe like an even lighter green or a brighter yellow? Hmm. We're using all kinds of like earthy colors, so maybe like almost like a tweed color at some point might not be a bad idea. Hmm. Maybe even less saturation? No, I feel like having a high contrast color there would help a lot. Hmm. Yeah, no, I can't rock with it because it just looks very strange with the yellow on the jumpsuit already. Okay, hang on, this might be something. Hold on. An exciting new development has occurred. Okay, then over here. Come on, why is it going over like that? Is it something here? Yeah, there we go. That was what was behind it. Okay. What else we got? Hmm. It still feels like there has to be a better color than this yellow for the rims of the boots. But we'll see soon enough. Actually, given all of the features, it kind of almost gives a chameleon-like look, doesn't it? Hmm. As for skin tone, should we make her green as well? That might be an interesting idea. All right. For the time being, let's duplicate the color layer and figure out the kind of tones we want on it. So the first thing I want to do is to increase the contrast a little bit. Oh, that's pretty nice, though. That's kind of nice with it. Yeah, that is actually much better already. Hang on. If it's like this, then I don't even have to worry about the color gradient. Although I do want to have something different for the edges of the boots and the sleeves and everything. Maybe more red? Maybe like another type of brown. No, that's kind of like leaning too much toward purple. Okay, like a kind of like a just a slightly lighter shade of tan would be is actually working quite well for this. Okay, I think we have our color scheme. But before we fully commit to that, I do want to see it a little bit with the color gradients. Like for example, it also helps a little bit to establish if I've created enough contrast, right? Not to mention, it just looks nice swapping palettes like this. Every once in a while isn't so bad. Ooh, I like this purple one. Actually, one that I've really become a fan of is this color palette here, this gradient map. I actually used it a little bit to make the Fatum Betula, what do you call, thumbnail for the stream last Saturday. Okay, I think that's pretty good for in terms of what do you call color. So now we can start the shading process. Although, let's take a look at those brushes we downloaded, right? Bony back scale, rounded scale, round scales. Let's try the round scales. Clothing. Jagged belly scales, fishnet. Fishnet. Bubble scale, fishnet. Sharp scales. Let's do sharp scales. That sounds compelling. The question is which part of the clothing is going to have like the scale pattern. The tail would probably be the best idea to start with, right? Hang on, why is it also selecting the part on the inside? Oh, I have the tolerance set to 4. There we go. Let me expand it by 1 just to be sure. Ooh, that's real nice. Hang on. This might be a game changer. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so this is the way that I have to do it here. I'd say that's a pretty fine job. Then just in case, I want to see something, right? I want to see if I might be able to make the bottom half of the scales green, just to kind of fit in with the look on the picture. Okay, tolerance, area scaling 2. There we go. If we look at it that way, it actually works pretty well, doesn't it? But I don't know. Is having a solid chunk of whoop too far back, too far back, too far back. Hang on. Get the tail back. Hmm. Let me keep experimenting with it a little bit. Just for a little while. Okay. Then switching over to this. Okay. Then over here. The problem is that there's no good place for it to end, right? Or maybe there is. Hang on. This feels like I feel like that one gif of Gromit just like laying down railroad tracks as fast as he can. Hmm. Well, whatever. Let's just whittle away at this little by little, and then we can start adding more shadows. That should take us to the end of our time slot. Okay. It's you're supposed to work at a larger level so that you're kind of keeping an eye of the big picture, but it's kind of nice working at this micro level every now and again too. Just nice broad strokes, nothing too complicated, nothing too brain heavy, nothing too neurotic, just kind of taking your time to really polish the piece. I don't know. I feel like very often because I try to create and finish something on stream, I do want to have like that kind of sense of urgency, right? So being able to kind of like really take a minute to just make it look nicer feels real good. Of course, I'm kind of goated at art, so it'll come out. It'll look good no matter what I do. But still, it's a little something for me. All right. Okay, we got it up to. We have like 10% left of the tail to go. We've got this, no problem. We've got this in the bag. Okay. over here, then here. Just a little longer and we'll be done. Nice. Yeah, this is looking really good. All right. Did I do that all in the same layer? Oh no, okay, I see what I did. Hang on. All right, for the time being, let's put the shading layer under the scale layer. This isn't going to be super complicated. I do want to do some fancy stuff with the latex kind of feel of the suit, but that will be variable. You know, we'll be able to worry about that in a little bit, is what I mean. Okay. Okay, shrink down by 2 pixels. All that here, then right around here we can start creating like a gradient there. Now that doesn't seem right. Let's just do the shading normally. We can worry about texture some other time. Well, we can do a little bit of both, right? Bear in mind the texture, but just shade normally. Okay. Okay, like that, and then like this. Hmm. Okay. Looks like we ended up getting a little fancy with it anyway, but whatever. Okay, and then over here. There we go. Just need a little bit of a lighter touch in some areas. Our original plan wasn't fundamentally wrong. It was just tough to approach it the way I thought to approach it. Doing it this way with a little bit more calm and patience worked out much better. Okay, and then there we go. Perfect. If nothing else, it's visually interesting. And then maybe right here we can have a few streaks of shine. Okay, perfect. Oh, we missed a spot right here. Did we miss anything else? Just a little bit right here, but that's fine. Okay, couple wrist stretches. Same sort of deal for the other leg, and then the arms, and then the suit, and then we should be good. Shouldn't take too long, all things told. Or maybe it will. Who knows? Okay. And over here. Can I add a little bit of shading underneath the rim? I think I can. Okay. Okay, that feels a little better, but I'm still not 100% sure about this. Hmm. Hey, like that? Yeah, sure, that works. Okay, then from there. Okay. Then after that, we just loop back around a little bit here. Okay, we're not doing too badly, actually. I think if we just kind of keep this up, we should be able to get it done properly. Okay, if I use the hatching effect right here, it should create the kind of like gradient, but not real gradient. Not quite what I had in mind. Let's try that again a little bit. Or rather, take a different approach. Okay, then add this part here. Okay, perfect. Now we could just need to put the parts here. Oop, where did I go? All right, let's try that again. All right, that's the legs done. Now we just need to get the arms and the rest of the bodysuit, but those are relatively shorter. I mean, I gave her some real supermodel legs, so those should not take nearly as long. Okay. And over here. I am on the wrong layer, but that's fine. I will ignore that. It's not too late to correct my ways. Okay, and then like this. Okay, and then over here. Okay. We just need to do the gloves here. Okay, we'll do this part, the thumb. I'm really liking how she's starting to come out. But there's still a little bit more to go. Yeah. Realistic leather is oddly enough harder to stylize than, like, how do I put this? Leather in general behaves very weirdly because it's kind of reflective, but it's kind of not as well. You know, it's got its own kind of like grit to it. It's not like a mirror where it's like a polished sheen, but there's still a kind of oiliness that lets it reflect light easily. It's a little hard to gauge sometimes. That's why I usually just treat it like cloth. But I kind of want to experiment a little bit this time, so... yeah. Over time I found out that it's not the... What the... Hang on. This is... There we go. Weirdly enough, as time has passed, I found that it's not like the super realistic stuff that kind of gets you. Sometimes it's just the stylization of that super high realistic stuff. Like, realism can be achieved by just like taking it very slowly and just meticulously planning each part. It's not easy, but it is definitely, achievable. But having like a decent sense of stylization is what's really difficult because you have to figure out what's kind of iconic about this. What's going to be the part that makes people instantly recognize it as the thing that I'm trying to depict? And that can quickly kind of escalate in complexity. Yeah. Okay. Let's take one of these and then... Okay, this part is here. Let's add one more right here. Okay, I like that. All right, we can go slightly less ham on the rest of this. Namely, I did want to try and see, maybe we can do like a blue shadow for this part here. Like a darker blue. Yeah, that actually looks pretty sick. All right. Let's go with that then. Okay, over here. Here too. Oh yeah, this is turning out real nice. Okay. The only issue is now that the actual surface area that I have to work with is kind of limited because I have all these other colors in place as well. Well, let's just do our best for the time being. Okay. Actually, you can probably have it up to the very border here, just because that's where the scarf is lying at. Or no, I think having that just very small little thing like that helps it to distinguish that no, this is actually part of the suit as a shadow. I ended up using the same techniques as with the leather arm guards and boots, but I'm sure it's fine. Okay. Okay, we can also do some shading right here. Just a very tiny sliver. There we go. Okay, then next up, let's do the patterns here. We'll do the hair and the parts of the tail last because I said so. Okay. We can add some shadow right here for the hands. Why is it behaving like that? Whatever. Okay, then after that, what other parts do we need to shade? Right here would be good. Okay. Okay. The top part near the scarf also needs to be done. And also the inside part right here. There we go. Now we need this inner kind of red parts here. Actually, I want to try something real quick. Let me grab the color here, expand that by 1 pixel. Why is that? Why? What? Whatever. Select color gamut. Let me raise the tolerance by 1. Or maybe 2. When I select these. Why is it so picky? Whatever. Increase the pixel size. Let's do 1 more just for good measure. It shouldn't overlap with too much, I don't think. I just kind of want to see if there might be another color. Ooh, this red is kind of interesting. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's definitely very vibrant, which is exactly kind of what I want. Will like a dark blue work for the red? No, not really. Maybe like a dark purple. A sort of bruised purple. The green doesn't do much for me. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I'll just add a little bit of shading right here. Okay. Just a little bit more. Hmm. Be more careful with the brush size. Okay. And over here. And over here. Okay, this is working, I think. I'm glad I tried to experiment a little bit more with the color on this one. It's been very rewarding so far. Okay, maybe one here as well, like a shadow. Okay. These ones here, just so we can have consistency with the shadows. Okay. Then right here. And this one here. Oh, we're going to run a 30 seconds ads right now, so please duck your heads once again. Thank you very much. Keep all limbs inside the vehicle whenever capitalism is happening in the background there. And if you don't have limbs, you as you were. I feel like since the scarf is just like ordinary fabric, I shouldn't go too ham on it. You know, just having like a nice break from all the bright, powerful colors we were using up until now. Okay, then over here. Okay, then over here, we'll just have the shadows for the hair. Then order like this. Okay. What else do we need to do? Hair and then the tail. Okay. I should save. Realizing this now, maybe I should save. I keep accidentally naming things that I mean to name 2024, 2023, and I feel like that's going to come back to bite me one of these days. Okay. Put this here. Okay, put this here, put this like so. Okay, then we can have a few streaks of the color shining through. What kind of red should I use for the inside of the horn here? Guess that should be fine, right? Oh, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm Pabs, a writing VTuber and an artist. Today we were making a character design based off of this picture of the Ouroboros, and we came up with this, who this kind of like superhero looking gal. Hey V, how you doing? Well, thank you for your hard work. How was Virtue's last award? Shout out, Virtual Hero V Ranger. Yeah, great work out there. You got the reward? Fuck yes. Was that shit virtuous or not? Was it virtuous with the sauce or was it most unvirtuous? It was like juice reward. I understand. God, it sounds like you've worked hard then. Yeah, if you feel the need to get into hit the ground running, go feel free to do so. But if you want to stick around, I'm just finishing up some last touches on this girl. It took 23 hours to get to the first ending. Christ. You were fighting for your fucking life out there, huh? You were in the trenches. My ass will be watching getting some goddamn food. Nice, 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 nice. No, you have definitely earned it. Good work. Let's see. I wonder. Okay, let's do the mask next, right? So actually I kind of want to do some shining parts on the horn. I feel like the horn is kind of like the charm point of the mask. You know, you have all this the rest of it, which is kind of like Harlequin theme, but then you got this kind of like sick ass out of place horn, and everybody now knows that you're kind of hot shit because no ordinary person would put a horn on a Harlequin mask. God, every time I remember like the mechanics of superhero masks, I remember that one thing from The Dark Knight where where they're like talking about like ordering Batman masks in bulk just to kind of like avoid suspicion. He's like, one or two that's gonna raise flags, but if I order like 3 million of them, then it's gonna be normal and fine. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. When it's actually also insane. It's like that exact same shit that happened in fucking JoJo Part 5 when like the dude was like, if we steal one car, we'll be found out immediately. What if we steal all of them? And he just proceeds to turn an entire parking lot of cars into frogs. I don't think we give Giorno enough credit for being one of the funniest protagonists of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, obviously, yes, everybody has their moments, but I feel like nobody really appreciates how fucking hilarious Giorno is out of context. There we go. Like, Giorno is just a very level headed individual, but he also has just some of the most irrational thought processes potentially ever of any protagonist. Like, remember that thing he did with a lighter? How he just like took a bite of bread and he just stuck the lighter in there? Remember how he did that? Why did he do that? Why couldn't he have just propped it up with a couple of other things? Like, maybe it was because of like the fire risk. But I can't get over how his first instinct was like, I will fashion a bread-based lighter stand. He still ended up fumbling it, by the way. Okay, right. I actually forgot to do the back of the hair, so we'll just do that quickly. Actually, we don't need to do that much for the back of the hair. I think we can almost do it on like an exclusion basis, right? Anywhere that the light will hit, I can just erase a little bit of the shadow. Hmm. Yeah, I think it might be better to just work on a smaller scale, not just use the giant brush all the time. I was reading through the Wikipedia article for the Ouroboros just to kind of get it warmed up for the stream, right? And it's kind of awesome just noticing just how chuny we've always been as a society, right? Like obviously like alchemy stuff is very much in the realm of like super fantasy, right? But then you have like people who made like the chemical structure for benzene being like, oh yeah, it's almost kind of based on the Ouroboros. And some other dude being like, oh yeah, I made a scale of space based on the Ouroboros. And you slowly come to the realization that like wanting something to be badass and cool based on like occultic stuff is not just limited to the realm of fiction. You know, it's not just for creative writing. Like normal people also are like, you know what would be sick as hell if we related this to fucking the Ouroboros. And it bangs every time. It's honestly really good. Like as a symbol, it's just it's a very flexible ideal, right? The idea of just something kind of consuming itself. It can be used in a lot of contexts. You know, the idea of rebirth, the idea of downward spirals, stuff like that. It's just interesting to see how many different because it's also been used in a lot of different cultures, if only by accident, right? As well, right? Like it's just by sheer coincidence that a bunch of people thought, like, man, you know what would be sick as hell and very ominous if a snake just started eating itself and made like a circle. I guess except for the people who invented the hoop snake. That thing's just silly as fuck. Let's see. Okay, now we should work on the tail. So for the tail itself, I was actually thinking of just doing some kind of a darker color with this red, maybe a dark blue or something, and just painting over the area that would be affected, and then just using a what do you call a blending layer to even it out. I think that would be the most efficient way to do it. Okay, then we can swiftly switch gears to over here. Let's just follow the curve of the tail here. Okay, and then just continuing that curve downward. This is what I like about the tail, right? It doesn't need to be necessarily super complicated. It just has to work. I realize, of course, now that I've forgotten to shade the kind of highlights here. The kind of like edges on the different leather outer garments here. So let me just do that real quick. Yeah, these ones don't need to be all that flashy because the rest of it is already kind of eye-catching enough. I think it'll be actually confusing if I get a little too funky with it. Okay, and then we'll just use a slightly darker color for the back part of this. There we go. Maybe this part can use some too. Yeah, like that. Okay, with that, I think we should be good to continue operating on the tail. Okay, then we can go in like this. Oops. I am on the wrong layer. I think I noticed. Alright, we need to get this part. Did I miss any spots? No, I should be good. There we go. Alright, and then if we apply this... Yeah, there we go. Only problem is that that looks a little desaturated, so I kind of want to see what else we can cook up. Yeah, something like this maybe. I don't know. Maybe we can play around with the hue settings on it a little bit. I think that looks pretty good, actually. Alright, I think with that, we just... Oh, I need to do the shoes. Right here. Okay, and then with that, I think we can make like a quick background, and then we can call it a night. Let's put the character in a folder, move her out over here. I don't know, what kind of background would be good for this? I'm kind of thinking this one kind of like there's this one material. What if I put the fucking cartoon trees from the comic? No. Okay. There's this one material. Yeah, this one. This one that looks like cross-hatching snakes. I feel like that one would be very appropriate for this. Although I don't know what colors to use. I don't know. I guess a good contrast would be maybe like a light blue. Yeah, like this kind of like emerald blue. I don't know. Can we kick it up a notch a little bit? What can we do with it? Ooh, that's much better. That's nice and bright. I like that. Hmm. This ain't half bad. I like it. All right. Yeah, okay. Honestly, I think I'm really happy with. Why am I not moving? Hold on, my jaw is stuck. Hang on, I gotta pop this sucker. uh, there I am. Okay, we're back. I think. There we go. Bro was speaking without speaking. I was practicing my ventriloquism, you see. I've been trying to get into the big puppet show at the end of the month, but unfortunately, I got my ass beat by this one dude who actually grew his own puppet. He like grew the wood, and apparently he was so caring and doting on it that apparently it turned into a real boy or something. And now he's just entered that thing into the competition. Nobody's said anything because like the kid's been very excited to be there, and nobody wants to be a dickhead and tell him he can't participate. But it's a little bit unfair, you know. I feel like it's against the spirit of the competition. But fuck me again, I guess. What can I do about it? All right, but yeah, let's. Who all is streaming right now? That sidebar aside, uh, oh, BZ is streaming some VTuber rigging, so we'll go say hi to her. In the meantime, thank you all for coming by. I'm really happy with how this came out. Honestly, I think the design looks very cool. I'm very happy with the colors particularly. But yeah, on Wednesday I'll be back with some work on the comic, and on Thursday I'll be playing a game called "You Wanted Those Games, Right? Well, here you are. Here, come and get them," or something like that. That's literally the name of the game. It doesn't fit on like the Steam library page, but I'm very excited to try that out. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye.